What's up, guys? In today's video, we'll be talking about what Snapchat and Disney are planning to do together, as well as some behind-the-scenes look of the new Pandora land or Avatar land, whatever it is you want to call it, happening at Animal Kingdom right after this.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
On to today's news, we have a couple things going on. So we just recently found out that Snapchat and Disney are going to be working together. And when I say that, I mean that more in the way of Disney pretty much is going to be buying Snapchat. Now, it's not necessarily full-on purchase. It's just that Snapchat is going to be going public. Of course, that makes them available for purchase from anyone, basically. But it looks like Disney is going to pretty much buy most of it. They've signed a deal to exclusively do Snapchat stories. That doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to see these stories on other platforms, but they are making Snapchat stories for Snapchat. They're going to be making some shows there on Snapchat. So it's kind of a big deal and kind of confusing and interesting. We know that Disney signed a deal with Netflix, and that makes total sense. Netflix was on the rise. Disney wants to be a part of the trend. They had originally had an agreement with Starz movie channel, which of course with cable is unfortunately kind of going lower and lower. Netflix was rising. They jumped on board Netflix, signed a contract with them that the rights of the movies when they are released would be coming on Netflix rather than on Starz. This is, however, interesting because Snapchat right now is in a weird kind of tussle. We know many people, even myself, love Snapchat, use Snapchat. I personally have stopped using it though, and I know a lot of people have as well because Instagram released their version of a Snapchat, which is they allow you to do stories of 10-second clips. But more importantly, with Instagram, that Snapchat doesn't give you, Instagram gives the ability to be discovered. You're able to, follow, find friends simply by searching a hashtag rather than just having to get that code. As well as there's a lot of different users on Instagram than on Snapchat. Snapchat tends to be more of a younger crowd, which is why Disney kind of went into it. But at the same time, just like most things younger crowds get into, they eventually kind of get out of it. Instagram has kind of been, consistent because younger or older, it doesn't matter. You can enjoy pictures and now the videos that they've installed, that they've allowed, and now the live video as well. So to me, this is an interesting move. I don't know what Disney intends to do, why they did it, but they did it. So the deal actually comes in. You should start seeing kind of if you're following Disney on Snapchat, some of the shows start appearing in January. But definitely a big, interesting thing. We'll see what happens with Snapchat now. I mean, because Disney also has reserved the rights on how they'll be advertising, on the way they do it. So they're thinking, far ahead on what they plan to be doing with Snapchat. So we'll see what happens. In other news, we did get a behind-the-scenes look of Pandora, the world of Avatar, that'll be opening up in the Animal Kingdom. There was a quick 2-minute video showing different aspects of the park, what you can be expecting to look like, what you could be expecting some of the rides to be like. The experience is, of course, is supposed to be amazing as far as on Disney's perspective, of course. It's interesting because a lot of people, of course, know Avatar, and what's funny is a lot of people don't because it came out back in 2009, I believe. There's so many people who haven't seen Avatar or who did see Avatar and didn't get it or didn't like it. I personally am not a fan of Avatar. I saw it. It was okay. I know people were like crying out of the theaters. I was like, it didn't connect with me that way. But we were supposed to get 2 more films from that and still haven't gotten those. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, Disney does do a good job of being able to kind of bring you in. Some of the rides there, in one particular, when you're riding, what is it called? The Navi, I think, or something like that. It looks kind of like a Soarin' style ride where you'll be on kind of a seat or standing up, but be moving like if you're riding on one. So it does seem, like an experience. And like I said before, and I'll keep saying it over and over, Disney seems to be making a really strong effort to make sure that every park is a 2-visit park. They have really upped their game on what they're adding, how they're adding. They're not adding a ride; they're adding different experiences total. And so it's making you kind of go and go. I remember when we were able to knock out Epcot and Hollywood in the same day because there was really not so much there. We just kind of the main rides. But now with Epcot adding Frozen. Of course, it's always closed down, so that's a for sure 2-day trip. That's a for sure 2-day park visit if you do want to eventually ride it. But, adding Frozen, but then they're going to be adding, of course, in Hollywood Studios now with Star Wars experience and everything. It's giving more there. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited. It's opening next year. We'll see if it actually opens, how it opens. We're still waiting for the River Lights on Animal Kingdom that was supposed to open earlier this year, and they've had just so much trouble, just like with the Frozen ride. So we don't want to rush something like this. I think if you rush it and they just open it because they said summer 2017, it could do a lot more damage than good if things are not ready. So be looking out for that. But the video, of course, is pretty interesting, pretty cool, unique look at that. So be sure to check that out. For today's Disney Sell of the Week, it is The Art of Disney, The Golden Age. This book is from a 1937 to 1961 collection of postcards. Many of them never been actually published, but it's from Snow White, Seven Dwarfs, 101 Dalmatians, and it's frame stills, written, drawn, art style wise. I guess it's just art and it's just drawn. It's really nice though. That's what I'm trying to say. So be sure to check it out. I have the link right there in the description so you can get your copy before it goes back to full price. And in today's Disney Tip of the Week, we are going to be talking about Band-Aids. That's right, Band-Aids. What do you have to deal with Band-Aids? What? I personally recommend using Band-Aids not just for cuts, but actually for your feet. Let me explain. And sorry if this is gross, but when you are walking, there's two things you have to keep in mind in Florida weather especially. One, obviously, is the weather. Sometimes it can just be damp no matter what. Second thing is if you're not used to walking, you can be walking for 7 to 9 miles a day in each park, give or take. Now, if you're not used to walking that, your feet are going to go through some pretty tough, what's the word? I don't even know what the word is. They're going to go through some pretty tough times. Let's just put it at that. So it's very easy for you to kind of develop sores or develop, cut on your foot or anything like that because you're just not used to walking that way. And even more so if your shoes are not really able to handle that. If your shoes are older or kind of worn down already, walking that much can actually do a lot of damage to your feet. So putting a Band-Aid on the back of your ankle, putting a Band-Aid on potential spots that could, get worse in the sense of if you have a cut or something like that on your feet actually will help so much. It really has helped us in our trips to kind of take those precautionary measures and avoid the situations. I know the first time we went, we did not do that. And, like I said, you get the little blisters, you get the little cut, and it's not fun. So, because you still got more parks to walk. So that is a tip. I know it's not necessarily the most nicest sounding, but, we all got feet, right? Let's get real. If we're walking that much, we have to be prepared for that kind of experience. So be sure to take some Band-Aids to put on there, and that way your experience won't be ruined by cut or blistered feet. Wow. That is not the way I want to end it. But that's the way I'm going to end it. So thank you so much for having the time today to check out this podcast and video. Please be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any more videos like this, as well as Sunday's show. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, podcast is better because then you get these straight to your phone and you also get Sunday's episode. So be sure to be checking that out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great night, day, week, whenever you're watching this. And as always, stay magical.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.